Daytona International Speedway, the site of oh so many season openers and preseason openers here on iRacing. And tonight, in one sense, is no different. However, this league, different from all the rest. Welcome to the first broadcast on this channel of the Integrity Ignite series as we get ready for the Clash Media Day, the Media Day 100 as a matter of fact, as we will gear up in about a half hour's time for 100 miles, 40 laps around the world center of racing, and we will get ready to talk to a lot of great guys here, great drivers, as we gear up for the season beginning next week at Daytona, February 6th. Mark the date, because we're just getting started here, as we're going to try to get our first few interviews. And the first guy we want to get a talk with is the 36 machine of Jacob Fight, one of the admins in this league, and a very crucial part of bringing us over onto this league on this channel. So we're going to try to get our first interview of the season with the man in the 36 machine right now, although it looks like he is not on the track. And also, looks like he might not be in a voice chat just yet. And we will try to get around to Jacob Fife as we're going to set up a little request to get him on the air here. We're very, very excited to speak to him and the multitude of drivers here that we have available as we are just getting started live. And this is the Clash Media Day. And it is the first race of, not the season, but the year here in the Integrity Ignite series. And we'll get Jacob Fife on the line here. We're going to try to ask him right now. As a matter of fact, we sent the message over, so hopefully he'll respond to us here and get into the voice chat with us. And we have sent the message over. If not, we'll get a few of the drivers, a few of the guys in, and we will get the show on the road. Hopefully, the first man we can talk to is the man in that 36 machine as we wait and anticipate what we can get out of the man of Jacob Fife. And we're going to wait just a bit right now as we have a little bit of time. Perhaps get something from him. Let's look around. Blake Gordon right now, top of the charts in the 48 machine, and Jacob Fife now. Maybe we're going to be able to chat with him, because it looks like he just replied to our message, so hopefully we'll be able to drop into the voice chat as we speak. And we are going to be once again and see once more if Jacob Fife is there. And it looks like he is not just yet. Get him in. That we are working on. We don't see him right here for some reason. Actually, as a matter of fact, there he is. And we're going to be able to drag him down right now. And there we have it. A little bit of a shuffle there, trying to get you into the voice chat with Jacob Fife, 36 machine. We're getting this season started right here at Daytona. How do you feel going into this one?
Man, you have great timing, actually. I was just telling the guys in the channel I was going to pull the broadcast up on my TV right above where I'm racing at. Then you're like, hey, you want to do an interview? So very convenient timing. But no, we're looking forward to, before the start of the season, I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Looks like we have a decent amount of guys showing up for the media day so far. And like I said, the broadcast is looking good from what I can see. So should be a fun night. I'm looking forward to it. Always, start of the season's always fun. It's a nice time to get new people involved. And we have a lot of cool things coming up too. So it's good to be a part of that. Have another season in the books.
And absolutely looking forward to another season here, and it's going to be a pretty long one compared to what we're usually used to on this channel. However, for you guys, nothing out of the ordinary in the Clash here, getting it started. So 40 laps in. How is it for these guys to get through on this first run, get used to the car, and do you think it's really important going into the next race at Daytona?
Yeah, I think it's going to be important for the guys who are able to be here tonight to just kind of get used to each other a little bit. A lot of these guys come from a series they previously ran at. And so, you know, but we have some new guys as well who are kind of going to mix into that. And so it'll be fun to get used to people, get used to the car, as you mentioned. There is some differences and stuff. So I think that'll be important. And then it'll kind of give us a way to kind of lean into the start of the season, which is next week for these guys.
And absolutely the start of the season, we're running two series in this league. It's going to be the Octane and the Ignite series. So how is it managing both of those as we are getting geared up for both, as that will be on Tuesdays, the Octane series, and this is, of course, the opener, or rather the preseason event for the Ignite series.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to take in. This is the busy part of the season. As a league admin or owner of the league here, this is where you get all your work in, right? So hopefully you do a good job and get all the work done at this part of the season, so when it's time to go race, you just go out there and have fun, get the racing in, and then hopefully most everything else kind of takes care of itself. So Still got a little bit of work to do. Got a week left here, like you mentioned, for the Ignite series that runs on Monday nights. And then we have a couple extra weeks after that before the Octane series with the Next-Gen cars kicks off on Tuesday nights. But yeah, like I said, it's busy, very busy this time of year.
Very busy it is indeed before we get on with the first race of the season. And of course, Super Speedway package with the Xfinities, very fast, very intense. So when it comes to being on the driver's perspective, how is it for you managing 40 laps here at Daytona? Of course, shorter than will be next week at the World Center Racing. But as you get geared up as a driver, how does it prepare for, of course, the experience that is driving here at Daytona International Speedway?
Yeah, we just did a run not too long before I hopped on here with you, and I thought it went fairly well. I was the one that made the mistake that kind of stopped that run, but it's like I said, it's good to kind of get a feel of where you're at and kind of get an idea of your surroundings. But it's just getting used to that pack racing and kind of understanding how the track works and stuff like that. So it's just kind of knocking the rust off and getting back to it. But it should be a fun race. Even if it's a fun race, I think it's going to be pretty intense at times with how the draft works and the cars move around a lot as well. So it's going to be something we'll have to kind of take into effect as we're out there drafting.
And absolutely, this is a race just for fun, not counting toward the championship standings. However, when it comes to these guys, we know they're pretty competitive. So how do you feel about the state of competition in this series going into this season?
Stout. I think that's the good word to put it. You're going to have a lot of guys in here with Monday nights that are really good. I know when we've raced in the past, I really do think, knowing what the entry list is, there's probably a good 15 to 20 guys that could probably do the championship and be in contention. So it's going to be really hard to make the playoffs. It'll be really hard to advance in the playoffs if you're lucky enough to make it there. So stout would be definitely the word that comes to mind when really both series, but this series especially.
This series, of course, is going to be the first of the two that run week after week. And as everything does get geared up, it is the Clash once again. And Super Speedways, we're starting up. We're seeing a multitude of tracks, a lot of different types, of course, diverse race schedule. And can these drivers handle it? That is the question. We got a lot of guys here right now, but when it comes to the regular season, I'm pretty sure we're hoping for some more. We got a lot of guys registered. So how do you feel when it comes to all these guys managing different types of tracks? And of course, these NASCAR stock cars, they're not necessarily built for some of these tracks, but they adapt to them somehow.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the unique part of the schedule that we've created for this year. We want guys who are going to be able to kind of go into each type of track and be able to master it. And so I think that's a good way of determining a true champion when we have each of these seasons. So that's going to be, like you mentioned, there's a couple tracks we're going to, like specifically for this season for the Ignite series. It's really going to be a challenge to understand how these cars race on certain tracks. And then beyond just racing the track, you're also racing the people around you. You're also really talented. So it's going to be whoever wins is going to be very deserving of the championship at the end of the year. That's for sure.
And certainly a lot of talent in this field to go around. So we got a lot of guys we want to get to as well. We got to thank you for stopping by. First interview of the season. Very happy to have you here. Any final thoughts? As it looks like we just see a bit of a wreck here in one of the packs that's going on. And hopefully you're going to be out on the track as well in some time.
Yeah, going to get back out there for a few more laps. But just wanted to thank, obviously, you guys for broadcasting us this year. We're looking forward to that partnership. It should be really great. Like I said, I'm kind of watching the broadcast as well as I'm out here, so it looks very good. And just, like I said, thanks to the admin team who helped out with this and done a lot of hard work to get us where we're at. Hopefully we have a couple more things lined up in the offering here in the next week or two that'll be a lot to be excited about. In addition to what we already have. But obviously, it all comes back to the members who sign up. That's what makes the league work. So I appreciate everybody for signing up for this year, whether it's Monday or Tuesday night or both. And we look forward to a great season. Can't wait to get started.
And absolutely looking forward to chatting with you more as the season goes on. 36 Machine, Jacob Fife, thank you for your time.
Thanks, appreciate it.
There we have it. That is the 36 machine. Going to drag him back into his channel here. Get him on his way. Let's get on to the show here. Let's get our next guy in, and that will be the driver of the 38 machine in Michael Stroll. And Stroll right now is actually taking a stroll on the track right now. Looks to be backing it down just a bit, but that's just the picture deceiving you there. 175 miles an hour. And while it is a single car run for the 38 machine, certainly on the move, Stroll is. And let's get him into the voice chat here, have a little bit of a talk with the man in the 38 Chevy Camaro. It is Michael Stroll, and as we get this season underway, 18 minutes remain here in practice, but the talk of the town is, of course, all the changes coming into this series. We got 2 series going on in this league, as a matter of fact. The Clash on its way, going to be a very exciting event, and when it all comes down to it, a lot to talk about here. How do you feel going into this year?
Well, first of all, hey, Dave, I didn't know you were pulling me up, but myself and the admin team feel real good about the work we put in. Jacob, they've had a really well-established league for about 10, 12 years now, and they were looking for a second series, and that's what we're doing on Monday nights now. Is we got the Ignite series on Mondays and Octanes on Tuesdays with the Next Gen. So pretty excited for the season.
Absolutely an exciting season to be had, but we're starting it off here in the Clash. 40 laps of action, so managing it as a driver, how's it going to be from that lens? Because, of course, a lot of guys have already shown up right now. We're getting upwards of 30 drivers, it looks like, as a matter of fact, to start this one. And before we get to the show here, got a lot of guys getting prepared, got a lot of guys in multi-car packs. Saw you getting a single car run in, so getting all this managed, how's it going to be from the driver's perspective? As we have a lot of guys who might be new here, a lot of returning faces, so a lot of different perspectives going into this one. How will it be for all of them to meet each other for the first time on track?
That's what this event is all about. Just a fun, relaxed run, nothing too serious. Everyone that's new and doesn't know each other can get their feet wet and learn how we do things here at Integrity, because it could be different from some of the other leagues that you broadcast or whatever have you, before we get serious here in a couple weeks. As far as myself as a driver, I was just out there. When it comes to these play tracks, I just shake it down myself. Make sure the steering wheel still works after not being here for a couple of weeks, and Daytona is Daytona. It is what it is. From an admin standpoint, I'm looking for is everyone just get along, get used to how we do things here, and just have fun. That's always rule number 1 is have fun. So I'm appalled with already over 30 guys entering the server with a race that really doesn't hold any weight. That makes me very happy as an admin for the rest of the season as far as car counts go, and I think we're in a really good spot here.
And absolutely in a good spot right now. A lot of good drivers coming in. And I talked to Jacob Fife just a bit earlier now. When it comes to the name of the game here, competition, he said we got a stout field, a lot of talented drivers. So a lot of these guys being pulled over from another series, as has been mentioned beforehand. So a lot of guys who have been here before, a lot of guys who are new. How will it be when it comes to the competition standpoint for the championship, and how many drivers will have the chance to, go to the top? A lot of guys who, according to Jacob Fife, will be able to go for it. It's going to be competition nonetheless, so very intense. And you think these guys are going to be able to make it happen all season long?
Yeah, I mean, as far as iRating and field of strength goes, a lot of our field of strength isn't going to be that high because a lot of guys don't run the service. But the series that a lot of the guys came from, I think about a good 30 of us are used to racing against each other. And last season where we were, the competition was very tight. And not only did we all, gravitate over here, but we've also added a few drivers that have a lot of speed. So, just loosely how our championship works here on Mondays. We run 15 races. The first 10 win and you're in, and then the last 5 races are called the Clash, which gets split into 2. It gets split into 2 rounds. First 3 races, top 16. You get 3 races to get in the top 8, and then the top 8, if I recall correctly, they all get basically reset to 0, and they get 8 drivers for 2 races to fight it out. So that's all down the line in May. I'm just really looking forward to getting our groundwork here as an admin team, making sure all the kinks with the server is good. Everyone's got their commands all straight up, and I'm sure might be a bump or 2 in the road, but again, everyone just try to have fun if you're watching. And if you are watching and you're not in this series yet, there's still time to sign up. We do have more than 43 already for Mondays, and there's about 35 for Tuesdays, so there's room for both. I think we do have a go or go home thing here on Mondays. So if you like what you see after tonight, come join. And as far as as far as you go, Dave, thanks for really covering this league. I'm sure you're going to be in for a real treat with the competition that we have.
Absolutely looking forward to this one now. Any final thoughts before we get on our way here, try to get some more guys in the booth?
Nope, just good. I would suggest go and talk to maybe like Boomer Logan, or Calvin Filarski, or even Tyler Hensley. They're the main admin team for Mondays, or whoever else you want to talk to. I'm gonna go do my admin stuff and make sure everything's squared away before we qualify.
And there we have it, driver of the 38 machine and admin in this league. What a thank you for your time. That is Michael Stroll. And once again, thank you for stopping by. There we have it. I think Stroll will be on his way from here. Let's get our next guy in, and let's see who we can get it from here, because we got a lot of guys on the table, and I think one of them that we should talk to is Boomer Logan. Now, we just entered the advertisement for this league into our timing and scoring system, and we're going to try to bring it up right now. One of the ads we put in is not Sim Racer Hub. We're going to pull that one out for just a moment. 10 questions with Boomer Logan, so you know that you have a great reach with all these guys in this series. So being able to talk with them on a week-by-week basis before we get this one started, able to get to know these guys. How do you feel going into this season? Of course, having 10 questions time after time, getting different faces in every time you publish them.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, honestly. Been doing that for just about a year now, and a lot of the guys here are people that I've had a chance to interview with, in the past season or so at our previous league, and there's still a lot of new faces here at Integrity, so still learning some of those guys, and we're currently kind of working through the admin team, both here on Monday nights in the Ignite series and the guys on Tuesday nights. So getting to know rest of the admin team on Tuesdays a little bit better. Obviously, most of the admin team on Monday nights have been buddies for a fair amount of time, and Michael Stroll and I are actually all teammates that run together every week. So it's nice to get that kind of a mix between getting to re-interview some of the people I know really well, and also getting to know some new people. So it's a blast, definitely.
And absolutely getting to know a lot of new drivers. A few guys moving over from the league, as has been actually mentioned before in all the interviews that we've gotten through right now. But of course, a different league right now. This is the Integrity Ignite Series, the Monday series here for the Integrity Racing League. And we have, of course, the Octane Series on Tuesday. So a lot of guys here looking to put together a run for the championship, and a lot of competitive drivers. So how is it getting to know them? Of course, these guys are drivers, but at the same time, they are people. So how is it getting to know them off of the track compared to what these guys are on the track? Because right now we see a lot of guys going at it right now, trying to shoot for the fastest time, as right now the fastest is still a 46.956.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun to get to know people more out of the car and out of the sim, and get to know people in the real world. Even you can sometimes join these leagues and you don't really get a chance to get to know everybody, other than how people race, or how they might race you, and how to drive around them, and you gotta get comfortable on the track with them. But it's kind of been the whole point of 10 questions from the get-go, is just to get to know people better on a personal level. And like you said, there's a lot to the person behind the sim, the sim car, and behind the steering wheel and the pedals. And sometimes that's really tough to remember, that you really are just out here with a lot of us would consider a lot of these people my friends. You're just kind of hanging out on Monday night and being competitive, obviously trying to do as best as you can, but still enjoying the time with your buddies.
Absolutely, a lot of guys very close here, and as we get closer to the start of this race, going to be the first time for a long time for some of these guys to race against. Perhaps they know the guys from the other leagues, but now getting all together for this year for the first time, different groups colliding, and it will be at Daytona. Battle first. Now, Daytona International Speedway, site of the season opener here, February 6th, but also the site of the Clash, a 40-lap event, 100 miles to be exact. And when it all comes down to it, getting to know each other, getting to know how people drive, a lot of things being figured out here. So from the driver's perspective, we've been asking everyone from the driver's perspective, how is it selling in for the first time this season?
It's definitely been a while for me since I've been in the Xfinity car on iRacing, so it's definitely kind of getting used to getting back into it. Was fortunate enough to find a team to run the 24 Hours of Daytona a couple weeks ago, so I'm kind of at a similar track to what I've been practicing for the last month or so, but actually getting used to stock car setups and just the fact that it's a big clunky high horsepower stock car without any downforce compared to what we did at the 24. But definitely trying to knock a little bit of rust off, and I'm glad that we have a chance to do a little bit of that tonight, and also to get to know you a little bit better as you kind of learn the series and get to know everyone here. We're definitely really excited to start this partnership, and looking forward to seeing how the season goes with you.
And absolutely looking forward to this season as well. Now 8 minutes and then some on the clock before we get to qualifying, so show's going to get started here. Any final thoughts before we leave this one?
Just excited. There's a lot of new stuff, a lot of new people, and a lot of people that have been here for a while, so just ready to get in and start getting settled and turn some laps.
Absolutely. Boomer Logan, 94 machine tonight, and the host of 10 Questions with Boomer Logan. Thank you for your time. We hope to see you later on as the season progresses.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, man.
There we have it. That is going to be Boomer Logan. Let's get on to our next driver here and find yet another to interview. Let's see if we haven't gotten in so far. And it looks like a lot of these guys in their own private voice chat, so let's try to choose another one and see how it's going to go. Looks like right now Jacob Fife alongside one of the admins on the team. That's going to be Don Stevenson. So how do we get him in? And let's see whether or not he's in the session before we get him in. Try to focus on his car. And it looks like his car is in the mix right now, and that is going to be the 47 Super Mario Brothers 3 machine here of Don Stevenson. And let's slowly but surely drag him into the voice chat live on FTN, and let's get him in. One of the other admins of this series, it is Don Stevenson in the 47 machine. How do you feel going into this race? Because we're getting things started here at Daytona.
Hey, how you doing? Not too bad. Just a kind of a media day. Just kind of shake the rust off from the off season. But just should have a lot of fun tonight. And look forward to getting the real season started next week.
And absolutely, the real season starting next week for the first time. These guys get to drive with one another going into the season. 40 laps here, 100 miles, a very short race compared to what we usually run. However, getting used to each other. It's only going to be so much time. Getting a little practice here right now. A lot of guys in groups, and then we get on to qualifying and the race. So just a little warm-up activity, so to speak, for these guys. And how is it for you seeing everything come back together?
I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, this is the first season that we've merged. We've basically had the two leagues merging together here, and we have everything running under the Integrity platform. But it's been pretty awesome. I mean, the teamwork between all the admins from both sides has been really terrific. And the amount of drivers we have on both sides now. I mean, it's looking to be some of the most competitive racing I think any of us has ever seen. And I'll be racing both on Monday and Tuesday nights. So I'm just really looking forward to not just tonight, but really looking forward to the whole year.
And that's a perspective we haven't really gotten into all too much so far tonight. Monday and Tuesday, these drivers do have the option to race on both nights. So how is it running both of these nights? Different cars. Of course, there's still NASCAR stock cars, but one's the Cup Series division, one's going to be the Xfinity Series division, represented with the 89 Octane Series. So when it all comes down to that, how's going to be managing both cars, managing perhaps slightly different sets of drivers, although overall it should be more or less the same core. How's it going to be working with all of that and then some going into 2 seasons of intense competition?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, as far as the cores of drivers, I mean, I think that's going to be pretty similar, because I raced with a lot of these guys last year in the Monday Night League in the Xfinity cars, and it was same good, clean racing that we had on Tuesday nights with a pretty much completely different group. So I think, the two are going to kind of merge into each other, and merge pretty well with each other. As far as with the different cars, I mean, the Xfinity cars is a completely different animal than the Cup car that we run on Tuesday nights. It's, the restrictor plate racing, I mean, we're all probably going to get wrecked, at some point. So that part of it isn't really any different tonight. But I mean, when we get to the 1.5 miles, the road courses, the short tracks, it's going to be a lot different. And, it's just, you're going to have to be versatile as a driver to be able to control and handle both sides.
Absolutely a lot of versatility coming into both series, as you've mentioned. And it looks like right now 4 minutes on the clock before we get the show started. Everyone getting into packs right now. So First time everyone's up in a bunch. SuperSpeedway Racing determines not only the winner of the Clash, but the winner of the season opener. Now we're going to a totally different side of tracks following this. A lot of different types of road courses. We got intermediate, short tracks, and then some going into this season. So a lot of different types of tracks alongside the different series with different cars. So that aspect as well going to be a little bit different. So how's going to be managing road courses, short tracks, and then some. Of course, as we've said beforehand, going into a lot of competition with very competitive drivers. And how would they handle it as the season goes on? You're an admin as well, so certainly two different perspectives to keep it account.
Yeah, I mean, from an admin's point of view, it is kind of interesting because, you know, when you're an admin, you're kind of trying to oversee, you know, everyone and how everyone else is driving, you know, for the betterment of the league. But as a driver, you know, and as a racer, you're kind of, it's a balance. You want to obviously win, you know, so you're trying to, it's a constant balance, you know, trying to figure that out. But the good thing is, you know, the Monday night admins, you know, they pretty much have their own group. Tuesday night admins have their own group. So on Monday nights, I think majority of the time, you know, the admins on Tuesday night will pretty much just be mostly racers on Monday nights, and vice versa for the Monday night admins that race on Tuesday nights. So, you know, that part of it I think will be good because it just allows it where, you know, we're all drivers, we're all racers at the end of the day, but we're also admins for the betterment of the league as well. So, you know, I just think it's going to be a great time, you know, and a lot of different tracks. I love the different diversity with these Xfinity cars, you know, all the different just unique combinations we're going to. And then the Cup Series, I mean, it's also a little bit different. It's 30 race season. We're basically going to 29 different tracks. So that's, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of action to be part of this series, both series in this league. And we're getting it started here at Daytona. One of the drivers to be alongside in the show. So any final thoughts before we get this one kicked off? 2 minutes remaining here in practice.
I want to thank, on behalf of the Integrity Racing League, just want to thank everyone for coming on out and participating in the league, and all the viewers for watching and supporting the broadcast and everything. And hopefully we'll put on a good show for y'all.
Absolutely. The 47 machine of Don Stevenson, thank you for your time as we are getting ready to get this show on the road. We're going to try to get maybe one more guy in here before qualifying. Going to be a very tight squeeze if we're going to get one more guy in. Not sure what we're going to be able to do. It looks like maybe one of these guys with pace will be able to pull in. It looks like Alan Dobbs right now, top of the charts here in practice. And how we get an interview from a driver here, and that will be the man who is currently top of the board. So how we talk to the guy who is currently almost sort of in first, but you know, practice, a lot of guys going out, a lot of times that it can be changed. And as it stands for the driver of the 05 machine, Alan Dobbs, you're quickest on the board by about 1/10 of a second here. So how's it feeling going into this season? It looks like right now we've got a clear margin in the first practice session of this year.
Hey, it's just kind of luck that I had a really good clear lap with a lot of draft. That's the only reason I'm up there. But it looks like we're going to have some pretty good race, and these guys look like they're able to hold a pretty good line. So this might be the most fun I've had at Daytona in a long time.
And Daytona and iRacing all comes down to the group of guys you're with. If they're able to hold a line, able to take a push, and all the factors of SuperSpeedway Racing, the better they are at it, the better the race tends to be. And you're saying already you seem to be able to notice that. So when it all comes down to it, my apologies there, 40 laps, 100 miles. This is, of course, not a points-paying event. How will it be trying to play the strategy game going to this one's qualifying? It's going to begin sometime very, very soon.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just going to be make good decisions and try to stay here for the whole 40 laps, right? Like, there's going to be wrecks, but you just hope you're not part of it.
And absolutely, wreck avoidance going to be the name of the game as well. Qualifying getting on its way now. We've got a lot of things going on. Very, very exciting to get this show prepared. We got a Monday series, a Tuesday series, the Ignite the Octane series, and I believe you're registered for the both of them. So going into both series this month, we're starting them both. How will it be managing both the Next Gens and the Xfinity Series cars as a driver?
I'm pretty used to the Xfinity Series at this point, so I feel like I don't have to maybe pay as much of attention to those, but the next gen car I feel like most people are still figuring out. So it's just it's going to be a lot of patience with that car from what I've seen.
And patience going to be the name of the game at Daytona as well. And it also comes down to being a patient driver race after race. So a great point there. And it looks like qualifying going to get started 10 minutes here on the board to set 2 fast laps. So any final thoughts before we get into this one?
No, just, thanks to guys in the Integrity League for letting me join. Appreciate the broadcast. Look forward to watching it back later, and hope everybody has a good race.
And absolutely top of the charts here in practice. Looking forward to qualifying. It is Alan Dobbs in the 05 machine. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate you.
And there we have it. Now let's get on our way and watch qualifying here. And it looks like the first time lap going to be led on by the driver of Hayden Pastorius. Let's go racing here. Dark horse winner. But it looks like a prediction here from Froba Fett. The 43 spam car. Go Rillel. And it looks like the 43 machine is on the track. We're going to actually try to see if he's in the session. And that will be a prediction here from Froba Fett. Thank you for stopping by. Hired_gun saying, get after it. Number 05 machine. That's Alan Dobbs. And we just got an interview with him as we're going to try to see whether or not the 43 is in this race so far. Although we might just be having a bit of trouble finding a 43 on the timing and scoring charts. And not sure why. Hey, we'll see. Hayden Pastorius on his way, taking the high line around his first lap here in qualifying, as Casey Shue in a similar position as well. And when it comes to the 24 machine of Thomas Bresci, we've got something very special cooked up here. And we're going to watch, as we are watching, of course, the TV cameras for the driver of the 24 machine. Let's take a quick switch to Fireball Talks Nonstop, introducing our onboard capabilities here. And there you have it. How about it, seeing the onboard of VR camera for the driver of the 24 machine, and he is on his way right now, and you can see his in-car. That is what he is seeing as we speak. And for the driver of that 24 in Thomas Bresci, a very intense perspective, because when you're in VR, you basically feel like you're in the race. Right now, he's fifth on the board. Hayden Pastorius now going to be fifth, as the 24 machine going to dive down to the inside line and make this lap the one that counts. Only so much time before this one is concluded. 2 laps, the best these guys are going to be able to get. I believe that's going to be the maximum they have, as coming down to the stripe this time by for the driver of the 24 in Thomas Bresci. Boomer Logan going to go to the top of the board with a 50.804, going to be taken over by Josh Laston, and this time through, it is going to be for Bresci. It looks like second on the board right now, just got passed by one driver. That's going to be Rob Ackley, and now Bresci going to fall down into third, and looks like he's going to back it down as we speak. Just a quick look at the driver of the 24 machine and his perspective, as he's already got it parked on the track. Let's go back to the TV camera and see what's going on here. Looks like not much, and let's keep going around, as it looks like Bresci third on the board. Hayden Pastorius looks to be done with his run, and he's going to be slowly but surely winding the car down on the cool down lap. Timothy Johnston in the 82 machine. Ethan Lane in the 26, getting it off of the track as well. Now, Matthew Thunhorst is in the 13th spot on the board, as Josh Laston goes down to 12th. Calvin Filarski is in position number 13. Boomer Logan now down into 17th. And it looks like the 43 machine of Alan Rowell has joined the session. And Froba Fett looks like there's a possibility here for the man of the 43, as he has just entered for the first time tonight. 6 minutes, 3 seconds remain here, as we see one go way wide, and that will be Filarski, as Joe Dinsmore going to come across the line that time through, going oh so slow, trying to build up heat in the tires here, and we'll see whether or not that strategy works. Justin Carey coming down to the line on the apron, and for Justin Carey, that lap will be, it looks like, not a validated lap according to timing and scoring on our end. Only going to get him up to position number 20 on the board, about 1,000th behind Kyle Cooper's best lap in the 19th spot. Calvin Filarski off of the track right now. Matthew Thunhorst actually looks to be on the track. Let's get a better look at him, as the 8 machine going to back it down onto pit road here. And that is going to be Thunhorst's run. Boomer Logan still on the track. Joe Dinsmore still slowly but surely working his way around the track, as Gail Brooks in the position of, actually, no position so far. Going to be the first lap next time through, slowly but surely taking care of the tires. The 71 machine taking it to extremes at about 70 miles an hour, getting those tires as warmed up as they can be for one fast lap. Blake Gordon on the same strategy as well, and Kevin Matz right now looks to be done with 2 laps, and the 50 machine will not have a timed and scored lap for tonight's event. And it looks like the 24, Bresci, going to go right off the track. We only have a few drivers on, and we're going to try to focus on one of them. Joe Dinsmore, as a matter of fact, is one, and the 95 machine should be gearing up for a lap in about a half lap's time in terms of distance, and maybe less than that. And slowly but surely pacing around, trying to get something out of the tires. Dinsmore actually might void this lap as well and make the next one slow all the same. Rob Ackley right now looks to be in the provisional pole position. So how about we talk to the man who looks to be first on the charts for now? Still a lot of guys to go through in qualifying, but as it stands, first of a total of 26 time drivers. Rob Ackley, how do you feel going into the clash?
Oh, we're feeling all right, but it's Daytona. You know that. Anything can happen, but looks like we might be sitting on the pole, so we're pretty happy about that. Best starting spot in the field, so.
It certainly is the best starting spot in the field for a 40-lap dash here at Daytona. Now, 40 laps at 2.5 miles might sound a little longer due to the 100-mile tag that is attached to this race, but a very, very fast circuit here and a very, very short lap time. When you're really pushing to the limit, we can get to about 45 seconds, maybe a bit over that when we're in a pack. So when it all comes down to it, when it comes to the pack, you got to make sure you pick and choose the right drivers to work with, and how we'll be managing that as we get started here in about 3 minutes' time.
Yeah, I don't know. Your friends are just kind of where you find them on this track. I got quite a few teammates in the field tonight, but, you know, usually doesn't work out. You usually don't have the right guy behind you when you want him there.
And certainly a very challenging play it is to make something happen here on a super speedway. And it all comes down to a lot of luck. But what won't come down to a lot of luck is the remainder of these tracks after we get through Daytona. The season getting started on February 6th, and that will be at Daytona. From there on out, we're going to a multitude of different tracks, different types of tracks, the variety. It will be almost endless before we get to the end of the season. So how will we be managing that? And will we see you for a full-time campaign here in the Ignite Series?
Yeah, I'll be here for the whole season. I'm looking forward to the 1.5 miles, some short tracks. Super speedways really aren't my thing. Just try to get through them and get a decent finish and go on from there.
Absolutely going to be able to go on from there in 2 weeks' time. The first of 2 weeks specified in Daytona. Of course, Daytona International Speedway, the oval configuration, not like the 24 hours of Daytona, which recently ran. But here on iRacing, we're doing it the oval way, and we're doing it the fast way. So any final thoughts? Because it looks like right now, in qualifying, you're the fastest man on the track.
Yeah, like you say, we'll just try to keep it up there all race long, and there'll probably be a big one at some point, so hopefully we're ahead of that and we survive till the end, see what happens.
And there we have it, Rob Ackley, provisional pole here at Daytona for the Clash. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
And there we have it, the 22 machine, as we have one more driver. It looks like going for a serious run. Not sure what was going on there. A lot of guys going at a very, very slow pace, just crawling it through with minute-plus laps to account for the runs. DJ Stagner on his way right now in the 64 machine. Trevor Trago going to be on his way as well. The 37 machine going to be on his way slowly but surely, going to get on there. As Stagner coming down to the stripe for the conclusion of his first lap with 1:24 remaining. He should be the next man up. And we'll try to get an interview here with the second position driver on the qualifying charts in Anthony DeBarro. Right now, second on the board, outside pole position here in qualifying, and very few drivers looking to contend for that right now. So how does it feel going into the Clash on what would be considered the second best starting spot on the grid? Clean air in front of you, outside line, a lot of momentum going into the back straightaway. How will it be managing for 40 laps?
We're just looking to have some fun tonight and put on a good show for you guys up there, and we'll see what happens. He'll feel the race out. Might need to drop back if it gets too crazy to save the car, but it's a short race. I think we might just end up going for it and see what happens. But we'll feel it out here in the first 5 or so laps, and then we'll go from there.
Absolutely going to be going from there in a short period of time. Now, 40 laps are going to be very short compared to the usually race we do here. I actually believe the season opener will be 100 laps, so more than double the length of this one. So a very short race, just getting acclimated to the drivers here, to how we'll be working with sometimes, or actually in this case, we do have some new drivers, how we'll be working with new bunches of drivers or drivers you recognize going into the first race of the season next week.
Well, the only friend I know I have out here is Timothy Johnson, and the 82 car. That's my teammate, so that's the only one I really will count on tonight, helping with the draft and stuff. But I'm sure that there's all these guys, a lot of them I've raced with before, and so just looking to go out there and earn some respect.
And looking for respect indeed, but right now a very respectable qualifying run. So gridding is already in procedure. So how do you feel, or rather any final thoughts on how you're feeling going into this race?
You guys enjoy the show.
And that we will do outside front row for the driver of the number 27 machine. Timing and scoring, it is not lying to us. Anthony DeBarro, second on the board right now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
And there we have it. That's going to be your final interview before we get on to this race. Now, let's get the starting grid on your screen and get ready and get pumped. This is Daytona, and we are going to get on our way in just a moment's time. Going to get the starting grid on your screen, and then it's go time here in the World Center of Racing. And all of these drivers, all it actually looks like we're going to be at about the 30-some range as we go down, scrolling to the bottom of the board. It is a total of 36 drivers here for a 40-lap exhibition event. Here's your starting grid going in to the clash here in the Integrity Ignite Series. Going to be a great show, and every one of these guys getting ready for it. And Gaming Gael coming to the chat saying my 71 car was stuck in first gear. The boys are changing transmission out now. I think Adams Woods' team put something in the linkage. How about that? Wood Boys Racing coming to the chat as well. The most blistering lap ever for Gail Brooks. I tell you what a lap that was to watch. Now let's get on to your starting grid here in Daytona, and it will not be Thomas Bresci on the front row. It will be Rob Ackley with a 50.628, and Anthony DeBarro just a few hundredths of a second back with a 50.660 for the second spot. Then Thomas Bresci about 2,000ths back there with a 50.662, and Hayden Pastorius in the fourth position with a 50.671. Rounding to the top 10, it's Alan Dobbs and Timothy Johnston in the sixth spot. The 82 machine going to get up there in the third row, and the fourth row, it is comprised of DJ Stagner and Brian McFerrin. Then, rounding the top 10, Ethan Lane, Brandon Bernhardt, Michael Stroh in 11th, Cody Smith in 12th, Casey Shue 13th, Nick Terry Butcher in 14th, and Brandon Wenger in 15th, and Adam Wood in position number 16. Then, Josh Last in 17th, Matthew Dunhorst in 18th, Daniel Foss in 19th, Calvin Filarski in 20th, and then Kyle Coopers, Justin Carey. And we're going to keep going as the drivers are going to fade off of the grid. William Logan, Boomer Logan, Carl Anderson, Forrest Smith, Don Stevenson, Joe Dinsmore, Gail Brooks, Blake Gordon, Jacob Fife, Trevor Trago, Cody Griffin, Kevin Matz, Tyler Hensley, Alan Rowell, and finally, the triple-digit threat of Zach Edwards. And these guys are already out on the racing surface. Let's put away your time and scoring for the starting grid and get back to the live timing. Here at Daytona, 40 laps is not a long time at all for a circuit as grand as Daytona International Speedway, a track that has existed since the 1950s, 59, the first Daytona 500, and that was the race that cemented this incredible piece of architecture into the minds of motorsport fans around the world. Many disciplines have traveled to Daytona for many configurations of incredible racing, but none are more iconic than the big oval and the big stock cars that do battle time after time every February. And this might not be February, but we're just about there, and we are getting ready to put on a show that is reminiscent of those February days and February nights that we all remember for the NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity Series. This is, however, the Ignite Series, and we're ready to ignite the fire and put on a show race after race, week after week, and eventually season after season. But we start here, and we start now. The pace car taking the hard left turn. It's Ackley, DeBarro, Bresci, and Pastorius, your fastest four as we get started here in the clash. Let's go racing, and it's led off very well by the 22. And a great start there on the inside line. Everyone able to shovel together and keep it intact. We are already moving into our first lap. And if you guys not able to take the green, it looks like that's going to be the empty rows explanation on time and scoring there. So not sure what's going on, but we will find out as a few guys might have not been able to take the start-finish line for the first lap. Still, 2 by 2, the entire field is waiting, and nobody's made a move just yet. Double file, nothing chaotic, everyone's sticking together right now, and it's all about unionizing when it comes to the groups here. You gotta have someone behind you, or you're going to go nowhere, as the 22 is still leading the way and should be able to lead the first lap here of 40, as he's got the 24 machine of Bresci right behind him. And let's go and watch Fireball talks nonstop and show the perspective of the driver of the 24 machine. And here, take a quick look at it. You can see the VR camera, and that is exactly what the man in the 24 of Thomas Bressi sees right now. He's second on the charts, barely, as you can see on the inside line, trying to make a maneuver there on your, not race leader, but the outside line leader in the 27 machine, as everyone is still landlocked getting this one started. And oh so close, the pack is Anthony Navarro there. And let's look later into the field. Double file still as everyone's going to roar on through once more. And you can see the static camera showing how quick these guys go. And Thomas Bressi still holding on. Right now he'll be second on the board. And coming down to the stripe, the 22 still leads. Well, the Exalta, number 24, is going to be able to push him through. 2 laps in, we've completed them. Now, we're on to our third, and it's still led by the 22 in Rob Ackley. Ackley putting on a great show right now, but he's not got a lot of competition. The outside line, it is slowly but surely dissipating, and you can see it is not as well put together. We got 3 wide right now, as we will send it back to the main feed before we get the show back on the road here. There we have it, back to the full TV view as we will go once more. Anthony Navarro on his way, big wiggle in the back of the pack. We have 3 wide, and that one is the 26, Ethan Lane, making his own lane right now as they are 3 wide, only about 2 rows deep, and the 18 is going to be able to go with him, and that 18 is now Cody Smith, as Smith going to be able to take the 26 with them there on the outside line. They're making just a bit of work. Right now, side drafting, starting to put something together, and it looks like Nick Tarabuch going to go with him in the 29 machine, a Kevin Harvick throwback there, and Harvick's final season in the NASCAR Cup Series is going to be this year in 2023, an incredibly competitive driver to the end. This is a throwback to his earlier days after replacing the late Dale Earnhardt. And Kevin Harvick burst onto the scene then, and right now the 29 of Tarabuch bursting onto the scene now as the outside line. It might be the shortest in the number of cars, but it is not short in momentum. That is for certain. The 26, it's on the move right now. 3 wide to the high side. Looks like a new lane leader, and a new race leader is Ethan Lane. Down to the strike this time by. They're going to be 3 wide for the race lead. Everyone able to hold it together and still going to be led by Ackley. Bressy's still right behind him. And it looks like Navarro's still going to have a quick grip of Pastorius as the Smith duo with Smith and the 26 of Ethan Lane is still going strong. And it's all about having the right guy behind you at the end of the day. 5 laps in out of 40, and these guys are rolling fast. So it looks like we're going to have to reload the ticker. A few empty rows, not due to the, of course, timing and scoring of it, but it looks like a few guys not able to take the start-finish line, and that is an unfortunate case. We'll see whether or not they're able to hop on to the remainder of this event. Still possible as it stands. 3 wide, big shuffle. Everyone able to save it for the most part? No, they are not, and now we go around. A big wreck. The 05 of Dobbs is going to go cartwheeling, and we will have our first caution of the season. And let's bring it back and find an instant replay. What a wreck that was. Let's get the replay out, because that one's an exciting one. Let's try to watch it and see what we can find out. So it looks like a few guys just got a little bit too squirrely there. 3 wide always happens to have an issue here on iRacing. And let's get a wider shot to see what happened. I'm going to get that wide angle, put it back on your screen, and it looks like there, Cody Smith netcoded. Oh, that's heartbreaking. As you can see, then Stroll's going to collect the 82 machine. A big knock over there, like a can opener to Cody Smith. And Alan Dobbs goes for a wild ride, and he's able to get it back on track. It is a smoke show, and it certainly was a smoke show in front of him. Looks like Smith down and out there. Everyone on timing and scoring is getting reshuffled. And what a wreck that was for Alan Dobbs and the guys who were involved there. As you can see, there is one driver with a cloud of smoke, and that is going to be the 82 machine. And the 82 absolutely destroyed. That is Timothy Johnson. And Johnston coming down onto pit road here. And not good at all for the driver of that 82. Tell you what, you don't want to be in that position. That is for certain. As we are going to pull back up to the live feed. Give us just a moment here. As a big wreck. Alan Dobbs and a multitude of other drivers involved in the first wreck of the night and the first wreck of the season, even though it's the preseason. And here we go, getting it back to live feed. As you can see, Johnston is on pit road, and for these guys tonight, there is no fast repair. So it's one and done. You got to keep it intact. As Rob Ackley going to lead the remainder of the field down on pit road right now. The race off pit road going to already begin And the 22 machine has the advantage over the remainder of the field. Now it's going to be Ackley, Bresci, and from there on out, a multitude of other drivers are going to follow them. But right now, they do not show up on your screen. 5 in, out of 40, and everyone's cycling around quite nicely here. And the 22 machine going to go in with your 24 driver. And they are now topped off, perhaps for the remainder of the race. We'll see how it goes. Boomer Logan looks to be top of the charts right now. We'll see whether or not that is the case. It looks like it is not, as everyone on timing and scoring looks to be a bit messed up. Alan Rowell going to be scored as your leader, although I do believe that your leader is still the driver of the 22 machine. And the reason everything is shuffled up, caution laps will not count in tonight's event. 5 laps out of 40. So we're having a quick break when it comes to the timing and scoring for this event. And we are going to try to get it to your real leader, and the real leader is still Ackley. And as you can see, Rob Ackley pulling up next to Anthony DeBarro. And actually looks like DeBarro should be scored as the leader. He's got 5 laps worth of tires. That stint much older than the remainder of the field, and the 27 leads the 22. Thomas Bresci still is in third as Jacob Fife now looks to be going down onto pit road. And it looks like he is in his box. So next time through, these guys should be able to pass him. And the 22 machine and 27 will be on the front row, with the 27 having the advantage over the remainder of the field. Forrest Smith on pit road as well. A few guys who are on pit road being picked up as the race leaders. However, not the case, and it will all cycle out as Anthony DeBarro is your leader with 1 lap to green. Now the 24 and 48 are going to be side by side going in to the second row. Blake Gordon now beside Bresci. And it's the 27 and 22. Ackley and DeBarro, your leader, still leading the way. Everyone trying to get cycled up as DeBarro now not going to be shown as the top driver on the charts. That is a glitch. According to iRacing, Anthony DeBarro is in fact your leader. And 1 lap to go, and now less than that. Our first caution of the season and the pre-season event, we're going to count it there, will be over in just a moment. As 5 in, these guys up front, no damage. Should be able to roll on without a hitch, as half a lap remains. In 5 laps, we saw these guys were able to go 3 wide quite aggressively, and only 1 incident comes out of it, and I think that was a major netcode there. That should not have been an incident, but it looks like someone's internet might have registered that as contact incorrectly, and that sent the rear end spinning, and eventually sent guys over like a can opener. A big wreck for the 05, a big wreck for Cody Smith as well, and 5 in out of 40. We are only about an 1/8 of the way through this one. Before we get to the show, lap 6, the next lap that's going to be counted on timing and scoring, and then we race. And perhaps we go to the end of this one as we are entering the 3rd turn and now entering the 4th. The 27, 22, 24, and 48 lead the remainder of the field. Your fastest 4, as right behind them in the Super 6, it is Josh Laston. And the 09 machine of Josh Laston is beside now Cal Filarski. The pace car going to dive right into pit road, and we will go green once again. Let's get this show restarted. Restart number 1 of the year, and let's go racing, led by DeBarro. And a big jolt by the 27 and 24. Nobody on their level now. Unbelievable. And that was a great jolt there. DeBarro, Bresci, Ackley, Blake Gordon, Cal Filarski, Josh Laston, Cody Griffin, Gale Brooks. And right now, everyone able to roll off without a hitch. These guys up front, they are on a tear. And right now, up front, it has been mostly double file, though we did see some 3 wide before the netcode incident, and maybe that will be the incident to get these guys to back down just a bit. Maybe save the aggression for another day, another race where points are on the table. As we see them go 3 just a bit from the little package. That will beat Cody Griffin, I believe, in the situation here, as he's in the 3 machine, and they are getting real close to one another in the outside range of the top 5. Griffin now double file, as it's going to be Gale Brooks in the 71, going way high right now. They're going to be about 3 wide, almost 4 for just a moment there. Brooks going to be the only driver going to be hung out down on the outside, and he has nobody to help him. Going to try to file in right behind Michael Stroll. That will not work out. Hung on the dry. DeBarro still leading with Thomas Bresci behind him, while Rob Ackley is now being pushed by Josh Laston. Laston now giving a great run to the 22 machine. He might be able to go down to the inside line and clear, as now Ethan Lane has found himself in the middle lane and taken the push from Laston and given it to Ackley. 7 in out of 40. Not a lot of laps have been ran so far, and these guys are still getting situated. Double file throughout the good majority of the field here. Coming down to the start-finish line, and a push again. Ackley has been on a tear so far. He didn't lead that restart, but he had a great run with the outside line, and now he goes down to block the 27 machine. Inside line preferred by leaders more often than not on the plate track. If you're able to block those lines, you may as well go for it. And that's blocking like Dale Earnhardt Jr., or Dale Sr. as a matter of fact, as they barrel down the back straightaway once more. And you can see these guys are paired up with one another quite nicely. As down to the stripe, they'll go once again for lap number 9 next time through. And Ackley still leading from lane. It is going to be a Camaro, a Supra, a Camaro, and a Mustang in the front 2 rows. And Camaro is dominating so far right now. Ackley has been able to steal the show for the remainder of the field. 8 laps in out of 40 here at Daytona, and the clash going quite nicely. Nobody on Rob's level here, and we'll see whether or not they're able to catch up. Lasting. How about we watch on board with the driver? How about we watch on board, as a matter of fact, with the driver who leads the outside line right now? That would be Ethan Lane. So let's take a look from that perspective. So it looks like you can see the quarter panel camera there on that Toyota Supra. And he's oh so close to the driver of the 24 in Thomas Wrestling. And was oh so close to touching him. You can see cameras almost intertwining there. Rob Ackley's perspective will be just a bit different. You can see the rear end shot there. And Navarro going to be right behind him. As Ethan Lane comes up once again. Josh Laston. Now we see his front end shot. See it from the camera that's going to be situated inside the car. The mirror going at the same time here on the 09 machine. He knows that he's got to make his moves time after time correctly, and spending time wisely is going to be the move. It looks like it's going to be Jacob Fife put a lap down. First driver to be lapped all season long on pace here. They're all going to be able to get by him quite nicely. Let's watch the rear view camera to make sure that is indeed the case. It looks like the majority of the field is still together in the back of the pack. Maybe Fife going to be able to hold on to the back as well. As you can see, right behind Josh Laston, it is Adam Wood. Able to roll on 10 laps in and out of the first quarter of this race has flown by, and Rob Ackley has led the good majority of it. Everyone double file right now, slowly but surely moving on, and a delicate matter racing at a super speedway is indeed, as you watch in the middle of the pack right now, a big spot for only a moment. As you can see, driver like the 50 machine and Kevin Matz leaving a lot of room to Cal Filarski, Cody Griffin, Joe Dinsmore. It looks like about a car length in itself, as these guys do get a little bit of a stretch. Then they get pulled back together. The elasticity of the draft, it is a very, very notable effect, especially in these Xfinity cars, as right now Ethan Lane has a major advantage over Rob Ackley. And Kenny Reel going to come into the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Kenny Reel, a driver of the FORL Cup Series. We hope to see him more often. Now, if you are interested, these guys are absolutely going to be recruiting sometime soon. Payments are still available to make your way into this season. So if you want to join the fun, you absolutely can, and we would love to have you, Kenny. These guys are a talented bunch. You may as well fit in. FORL Cup Series has some great guys, and we know you're up front whenever you're able to run. As you can see right now, the driver of the 22 not able to hold on. Anthony DeBarro, however, now to the lead. Rob Ackley there. And side by side they are. These guys are playing a very delicate game here at Daytona. Normally you see guys rush to the front, try to push their way through, brute force it. Maybe they have a fast repair in the back pocket and they're like, you know what? Might as well take the run. If we get wrecked, we're able to go back to pit road. Everyone else gets wrecked. You might be able to win off pit road. That's always a possibility. But right now, no fast repair, 40 laps, not a lot of time, as it looks like the 88 machine would go a lap down there. And that it will not be good for Brandon Wenchard. As right now, still a great run put on by Ethan Lane. And from there on out, Rob Ackley there as well. And Kenny Real going to come into the chat once again. These guys are indeed accepting people. Be sure to DM me and I'll be able to pass over the information here tonight. It will be a paid entry. However, not going to be free. But these guys have a lot of great racing and action-packed for a total of about 30 races a year. I think it's got to be worth it. These guys putting on a great show. This is the Integrity Ignite Series. And Monday night's going to be much better with them. And we're glad to have them live on FTN. Ethan Lane holding on quite nicely. Rob Ackley there. Anthony DeBarro. Looks like these top three drivers have stolen the show so far. Nobody on their level. 13 laps in out of 40. The guys up front, the top 5, top 6, top 7 even, have been able to hold on quite nicely. Able to hold on to that car. And while it is certainly an intense race, Daytona always bringing out the best of it. And it is not only Xfinity, these guys have two series, one on Mondays, which is the Xfinity Series car set, and on Tuesday nights, it's going to be Next Gens, and that's going to be the Octane Series. So stick around for that. We'll try to get the information down to you in just about an hour's time, as these guys are making this race look like quick work. Ethan Lane has his own lane, and it looks like Anthony DeBarro not going to be able to hold on to it. But now, side-by-side, once again, going into that third turn, you can see how easily Ethan Lane's able to pick up some distance on DeBarro. And that's because he ends up hitting that turn just a bit later. The banking going to send him into the incline. DeBarro, at the very least, very, very early, and it messes him up going down to the stripe. As that time through, Ethan Lane is still able to get there first, and a great run for Lane as he's going to switch there and now block the high side, getting a very, very aggressive taste in the mouth for the 26 machine, as now it's going to be Rob Ackley, your new race leader, with Thomas Bresci still pushing him on. 15 in, out of 40, and Bresci absolutely now knows he has to push these up to the outside line. Let's watch on board. He's going to be your new race leader. Let's take a look at how it is to be the leader in VR. The shorter camera, or rather the smaller box on your screen, is his virtual camera showing you what he sees at the moment. The TV camera is going to be on your screen at the very same time. So right now, these guys are getting intense, and your race leader has a VR camera attached to him right now. And these guys will continue to push. About a 30-car field right now, and the 24 machine going to be the man who leads it all as they all continue to fight down into the first and second turn. And diving through now, Bresci, as your race leader, has a major advantage over the remainder of the field, has clean air, has some clean skies down to the inside line, and if we watch the rear camera at the same time, you can see all the access, all the angles, front and rear, for the 24 machine at the same time. Advancements in technology, thanks to iRacing and a multitude of other modern advancements in recording, have allowed us to bring to you the exact perspective that Bresci sees while driving. He sees it all. It's as if he's actually in the car, and that's the power of iRacing, one of the best tools in simulation racing. If you want to join the fun, be sure to use our referral code in the description below. It helps us, and it helps these incredible drivers that we love to support week after week. As the rear end for the 24 machine definitely packed up. Rob Ackley, oh so close to touching, as Ethan Lane going to fall down the pack right now, and it looks like he's going to be in a world of trouble himself. He's going back to the TV camera, as it looks like right now it is still led by Bresci in the 24 machine. And as they hold on, 17 in, out of 40, almost halfway through this race, and they're all holding on quite nicely. 3 wide in the back of the pack. That looks to be Boomer Logan. And still, the top 6, 7 guys are still double file. Not going to be a lot of 3 wide action. Boomer Logan going to be one of the few guys to hold on. They are 3. Now it's going to be Powell, Logan, and a few others going 3 wide time after time, position after position. Into the stripe once more. Double file looks to be now 3 wide, as it looks like Don Stevenson going to be 3 with Logan. And the 29 machine is now falling back to Gale Brooks. Logan falling slower and slower as we go just a bit of a wiggle there. Down to the inside. Blake Gordon, not your race leader at the moment. It is still going to be led by the 24 machine of Bresci as they come up on the lap car and try to avoid him. The 28 machine still on the racing line there, and everyone able to hold on, although it's going to be a bit of a dangerous position. Precarious indeed. Everyone moves up just a line or so as the 28 machine not going to give them an inch. And everyone able to hold on nonetheless. Very, very close situation for every one of these drivers, and they're all able to hold on. In some other leagues, that might just be a wreck, but they were able to keep it clean and keep it straight. As the 22 machine of DeBarro, not DeBarro as a matter of fact, it is going to be the 27 machine of DeBarro. 22 Rob Ackley are still fighting with the 24 of Bresci here, and 19 laps out of 40. The flash is flying by, and everyone able to race it clean so far. 1 wreck caused due to netcode. But otherwise, everyone able to keep it clean, keep it straight, as Adam Wood going to take a 3 with Ethan Lane there. And it looks like it's going to be a big wiggle there for the 09 machine, able to save it. And now, it looks like Blake Gordon going to be the big beneficiary. No! He's going to get really squirrely there. The 14's able to save it, and they go forward for just a moment. And everyone gets a real shake-up, and still, they roll. That was a big moment there for Blake Gordon. Unbelievable. He was able to save that car. Not a truck, but he was really trucking it there to keep it on the track. And let's look at an instant replay on the matter. We got a wreck, as a matter of fact. Look at 2 cars going down the inside line with already despawned. And it looks like we're going to try to get a look at that. It was the 3 machine. So let's take a look at that red caution. Is out. Cody Griffin involved in this one. And Griffin looked to go in a 2-car slide there. Let's find out who it was with, as it was down to the inside line at the same time as the previous incident with Blake Gordon. And it looks like the 09 machine going to be involved as well. So this is some front runners being taken out. And let's see. Getting knocked off. And that's a very surprising incident. That could have gotten a lot worse. Looks like they're able to despawn there on our end. However, not good indeed. The 09 machine going to be caught up with Cody Griffin there. And a big flick off from Ethan Lane to keep these guys out of the lead pack and in trouble. And still led by the 24 machine here. And that is Thomas Bresci, as everyone's going to be cycling around once more. So a little bit of a scoring glitch to be sure. Who's going to be your leader? And iRacing does this when caution laps don't count. So 20 laps in, out of 40, just about halfway through. We'll have about half of the race remaining. We get back to the green flag. Kevin Matt's on his way. Trevor Trago, Michael Stroll, Thomas Bresci is your race leader. And how about we talk to the man who is in front of the field? And that is the 24 of Bresci. So let's move him in right now, see what he's up to, as he's been putting on a good show, able to get up front to the lead. Thomas Bresci, halfway through this race, how do you feel going into the remainder of this one?
Not too bad. Car's good. Got a bunch of fast guys up here, though. It's just it's gotten a little harried a couple times, so, you know, it's just kind of playing it by ear and trying to stay out of trouble and keep this thing up in the wind if we can.
And absolutely a lot of chaos in this race. Well, not necessarily uncontrolled chaos, very controlled chaos to say the least. Only 2 cautions, one appear to be due to netcode as they come down a pit road, getting the final stop perhaps of the race. How it will be managing the racing, as it perhaps will get more intense as the night goes on.
Yeah, it's probably just going to be should be good to the end here, unless we have a whole rash of yellows because caution laps aren't counting. But yeah, we'll just try to stay out of trouble. That's all we can do, I guess. It's Daytona.
And Daytona certainly a different one to drive compared to the majority of these tracks. Able to stay out front here. Looks like you'll be in the top 5, cycling back to the remainder of this race. And it looks like a lot of staying in line up front. Not a lot of risky positions put in for most of these guys so far. So how it will be being conservative and being very, very, at the end of it, very aggressive to get the victory.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's going to depend. I mean, there's a few guys that I know that are more aggressive, and I haven't really seen them show their hand yet, but I know some of the signature moves some of these guys do, so it's business will pick up, that's for sure. So just got to be ready for it, and know where your friends are and know where they aren't, and who you can work with. I mean, I haven't really worked with any of my teammates yet so far in this one, but kind of getting the lay of the land up, with the guys that have been up front and seeing who's good where, who's good at leading, who's good at, who's good at pushing and managing gaps and all that other stuff. So it's one big chess match.
And certainly a big chess match here at Daytona, and about the biggest playing field you can be on. Looks like we go 1 to green next time by if we go to the same procedure as last time through. So any final thoughts before we get back to the race?
Just hope everyone's enjoying it. Yeah, just hope everyone's enjoying the race and the broadcast and everything, and hopefully we can put on a good finish for y'all.
And absolutely looking forward to a great race here. Leader coming into this caution still up front. It's Thomas Bresci, the 24 machine. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. See you guys.
And there we have it. Let's get him back into his voice chat. As a matter of fact, we're going to try to make sure he gets into it himself. Going to leave him in an empty chat for now, because it looks like some of these voice chats are locked up, and we'll see which ones we can bring him into and which one we cannot as the season goes on. 1 lap to green. We have not gone to it just yet. Cameron Racing coming in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show here at Daytona. Once again at Daytona. Seems to be back-to-back streams we've gone there. Stock Car Racing League on Saturday nights. A great truck series league. The Red Line Trucks put on an incredible show. Cody Webster winning at Daytona. What a race that was. And Rob Ackley right now looks to be out in front once more over the remainder of the field. 20 laps in out of 40. And from here on out, the remainder of the race is going to be that much more intense. 20 out of 40 is 1 lap car going to go right by the screen. And the 22 machine has had a great amount of control in this race. Halfway through, and 2 laps to green. How about we dial up yet another driver? We have already gotten some word from Ackley Tabaro, as a matter of fact. Let's get a word from Trevor Trago. See what he's up to right now, as he is currently 3rd on the board in the 37 machine. Let's see whether or not we can dial him up. Although it looks like at the moment we should be able to do that. Although now he looks to be muted and deafened, so we won't be able to tell if we are getting an interview from him. So we don't want to distract him. A lot of these guys do race muted, do race without the ability to hear the chat rooms they're in. Just want to stay in there for communication's sake. And Trago, one of those drivers, respectable, a very respectable decision. A lot of these guys don't like to race with distraction. As we can see, the remainder of the field is still single file, and this time through, it will be double file. Everyone getting back into shape for the racing here at Daytona. This is the Integrity Media Day Clash. 100 miles, 40 laps, and we are halfway there going into the remainder of this show. Crunch time. You might as well say we're already in a 20-lap dash, and Daytona is nothing. And these guys, well, they know it, and they're going to have to race like it if they want the victory here. It is not a point-paying event, mind you. However, it's still a race for all the marbles of bragging rights, and as these guys get acclimated to one another, as we've stated beforehand, you want to make sure that you're one of the guys who can get up front at a super speedway. Establishing trust at a super speedway can get you victories at a super speedway, and these guys know it firsthand. If you want to be a race winner, a driver up front in these super speedways, a consistent point scorer, and most importantly, if you want to be one of those guys who makes it through the wrecks, makes it through the absolute chaos in the middle of the back of the pack, you want to have trust. Because if these guys don't trust you, when you're working with them, when you're right behind them on your back bumper with 3 laps to go, and you're the only guy there, or maybe there's another guy on the outside line, and one guy who's in front of you has the opportunity to choose you, or the guy next to you, you want them to choose you, you want to build that trust. And this might just be a trust building exercise the same way it's a warm-up exercise for all these drivers. We have a great field here in Daytona, gearing up for an excellent season of racing. Ackley leading the way again. Dabaro beside him. Trago, Bresci, Thornhorst, DJ Stagner, and Kevin Max on the Super 7 going in to the remainder of this show. Green flags out once again. Let's go racing. And Rob Ackley leads them back through. And what a start by Ackley. He's in his own world. And that is a great start indeed. But these guys are going to be able to get a great draft off him. Going to be able to catch it right up. As you can see, they get bunched up again. Dabaro there, Trevor Trago, Thomas Bresci, Matthew Dunhorst, and now Bresci going to be able to push hard with Anthony Navarro. 27 getting a load of this, and he'll now be your race leader, 21 of 40, going down the back straightaway this time through Rob Ackley. Now losing a lot of time. Bresci going to try to move down to the inside there, and that he'll be able to do. Now he's going to be side by side with the 27 machine and should be clear for the lead going into turn 4, and the momentum going to prevail for him, and that he is back out front. 24 leads the 27 to 22 side by side double file. Good majority of the field through as we look through the middle of the pack right now. Everyone able to keep it calm, keep it consistent as the middle of the pack can load up onto your screen as well. It is a multitude of packs, a grouping. Unlike any other, JD Fife, actually Jacob Fife, as a matter of fact, not having a great run right now. As JD Motorsports, we were thinking of for a bit of a moment there, and JD Motorsports makes some great super speedway cars. We're going to segue into our next point. Some of these guys might just be great at super speedway. If you're a super speedway ace, this is the time for you to practice, make your best moves, and find out if you can lock yourself into a championship hunt by getting a victory here and gaining some momentum. Teams in the real world with the Xfinity Series cars, say JD Motorsports, as you're mentioning them, they don't have the best cars week after week. What they do is bring great cars to super speedways. You've seen how fast Ryan Vargas is when he qualifies for his number 6 Swan Energy or Swan Security Machine in Daytona time after time. They pull up with amazing cars, even if they don't have the amazing team to back it week after week. These guys, they don't have teams, same setups. It all comes down to driver ability. If your ability is to be great at super speedway, you got to use it now. You got to practice now. And 23 out of 40, Bresci has that move, and he has been on the move, leading so far over the dominators of Ackley and Dabaro. And what a race it has been up front, calm and collected. Michael Stroll now out front. He's in the 7th spot, side by side with Matthew Dunhorse in the 6th spot there. And Dunhorse going to be able to get a good run. The inside line now has about a 3-4 car length advantage over the remainder of the field. The outside line not able to formulate anything. That's what happens when the line gets shuffled out. They lose more time, and it is a downward spiral. You're not able to recover without the inside line having a bit of a mistake itself. So now it's all about keeping it calm up front. The line is disappearing. You got to find a way to keep it back together, and you can see Ackley is right on the back bumper of Bresci time after time, nothing stopping those two as these guys are coming into the final segment of this race. 17 laps to go. Trevor Trago there as well in a 37 Rice Krispies machine. How about that? And 37 holding on quite nicely right now as he's got a big amount of room compared to the guys like Michael Stroll, who's got about a half car length back. Matthew Dunhorse the same distance. Daniel Foss going to be holding his own line. Boomer Logan in the 94 machine there as well. Now in the first pack, just on the outskirts of it, as 17 laps to go becomes 16 laps this time through. And Bresci still holds on from DeBarro and Ackley and Stagner as well. And everyone now, it's all about conserving your momentum, conserving your tires, and conserving your fuel. However, tires and fuel, you might not have to conserve them all too much. You get loose at Daytona, it happens. If you're able to control the car even slightly, you should be able to combat it. It's all about conserving your energy as a driver. You make too many risky moves too quickly, it's all over. But if you don't make them that quickly, you should be able to hold on and just have enough power as a driver, enough momentum, perhaps enough of a group and enough trust to make something happen. Trust the whole of the game right now, and everyone trusting in each other to keep these lines about 2 wide majority of the way through. Don Stevenson looked to have someone 3 wide behind him, and that he does. That's going to be the driver of Blake Gordon, and right behind him there. And 3 wide coming back again, and the back of the field usually the first to have a 3 wide bunch as they are desperate to get off the front. 15 laps to go here. And only so much time for these guys to make something happen. Time is of the essence. If you're in the back of the pack, you're either going to wait it out for a wreck or wait it out to see if strategy falls in your favor. A lot of guys have crumpled up rear ends. They're still racing in the back of the pack here. And they're able to hold on. And it looks like Don Stevenson has a lot of tape on that road. That might be the reason he has enough speed to hold on despite the damage. That's coming back to the line once again. Everyone holding on. There's going to be one in the middle of the line, and that will be the 34 machine. As a matter of fact, a 43 machine there as well. And down the line once more. 14 remaining here, and Thomas Bresci's had a dominating grip of this one ever since the last caution. It looks like Jacob Fife can be lapped again there. 36 machine not having a great race. The motor is torn open, and Fife going to be put down once more. No issue for the guys in lead pack. Everyone able to swirl by him. And Fife off of the rendering path there. It is still led by Bresci, and now it's not led by Bresci anymore. Anthony DeBarro almost has a clearing advantage, and the 27 almost made something happen there. He'll stay on the outside and keep it with his partner in DJ Stagner. Stagner has been pushing it along, and they have been far from stagnant with 14 laps remaining. Down to the stripe once again, 14 to go. How about the moves that have been made by DJ Stagner? He was far from the front of the pack, but he's been able to slowly, methodically work his way up to the front outside of the top 5. He was for only a moment. Now he's just outside of the top 3. Almost nobody on his level tonight. Stagner, what a performance. Shout out to him there, because he's really putting something together, the essence of a motor racing driver. He might be embodying it tonight, and he might be able to hold on for the remainder of this one. One lap car going to be way high. They're going to go 4 wide in the back of the pack for only a moment there. It will be barely caught on your screen. They're able to save it. Boomer Logan able to get the pass there on the 43. As still 13 laps to go will be remaining. And usually we need 22 laps to go, but since it's such a short race, we'll pass it back to 10 laps after. TrackCams22.com, the best track cams on iRacing. How about that? If you want a great performance, a great broadcast, great replay cameras, TrackCams22, TrackCams for Gormans, they are the way to go. So let's crank it up. Live on FDN with 12 to go. This is thanks to TrackCams22, and we hope you enjoy it. We will be right back. Let's go as loud as it gets. Have 9 laps to go here. Things are getting intense. Just a bit longer. We're cranking it up to make sure every single setting is right for the optimal viewing experience. And Anthony DeBarro side by side with Thomas Bresci. They are so close to fighting for the race lead here. And the 24-27, they are almost side by side. And now they absolutely are. 3 wide in the back of the back. 9 laps to go becomes the lucky 8. 8 laps to go here from Daytona. If you enjoy the action, be sure to drop a like on the stream. Looks like right now, when it comes down to the algorithm, it all comes down to how many likes are on the stream. If you enjoy the presentation, if you enjoy the race, be sure to drop a like. It means the world, and it helps us support these incredible drivers that we have a great show put on by week after week, race after race. It all comes down to them and how great they are, and we just want to support it. Caution is out. Let's check on why. And a big one, Cal Filarski, Boomer Logan is in a lot of trouble here. And the 94 machine certainly not having the best of times so far. I gotta thank you all for the support on liking it up there. But let's see what happened here. A big incident for the 94 Boomer Logan. And he got caught up in something, that's for certain. And let's find out what that something was. Looks like this one is a quite big one. And it was the back of the pack, and it looks like an aggressive move came down to an incident. And let's see what happened. We're going to set the stage here, and the stage, there it is. Get Boomer Logan with a wider angle shot, and then find out what happened. And you can see Don Stevenson got sent in by DJ Stagner, and he goes up the track. Joe Dinsmore involved. Boomer Logan going to get the worst of it there. And that is going to be a big one. The mid-pack able to get through, and everyone's spinning. Filarski looks like the 4 machine there as well. And the 4 going to go all the way down to the bottom of the track. And that is going to be far from good there. And a big incident. Looks like Stagner going to be off the track. A lot of guys passing by. Casey Shue was involved. And Stagner still having a lot of trouble getting back onto the track. Boomer Logan gets a lot of damage. Motor is blown. It's torn up, that's for sure. And 8 laps to go. It all gets reset. And the big one ensues at Daytona. Let's get back to the live feed here and find out what's going on up front as Logan is down on pit road. And you can see already that car is killed, and I think that will be his night here in the clash from Daytona. And still led by Bresci, and he is having a great run. Absolutely nobody on his level so far. Michael Stroll up front, Trevor Drago, Daniel Foss, and Foss right now looking to be one of those guys who has an underdog shot according to timing and scoring. As Joe Dinsmore still on pit road, and we're passing by every driver on pit road. And as everything cycles out, we will find out who truly is in front of the field here. As it looks like still Thomas Bresci going to lead a multitude of up front drivers. Daniel Foss is going to be one of them. How about we get an interview with the driver of the 83 machine here? I don't think we've gotten one from him all race long. And let's introduce ourselves to the man in that 83. Daniel Foss having a great race so far, and it looks like he will be available for an interview. Right now, up front, it looks like you're going to be able to avoid that wreck. It was more in the middle of the pack, but either way, Daniel Foss, the 83 machine, doing great so far. 8 laps to go. How will you play it out until the end of this one?
I think we just got to be up close at the front 3 rows here, so I think we're in a good spot. Just kind of bide our time till the last couple of laps and see if we can find a dancing partner.
And right now, it looks like a lot of these guys up front have been able to stay up front and working with these guys. They've been the most consistent all race long. So having to work with them, how will it be going into the most aggressive part of the race? Certainly a 7-lap dash when we get back to it.
Yeah, I think we just kind of got to buckle down and make sure we hit our lines and keep everything tight, and we'll be in a good spot.
And that is the spot you want to be in here. So, of course, this is not a points-paying race. However, a lot of guys still on the track here. No fast repair coming out for fuel. A lot of guys did about 13, 14 laps to go. The strategy impact is one of those. Or is it all about strategy on the track compared to off of it?
It seems like the lines have been pretty much similar throughout the race, so I think track position is going to play a big part. I went with 2 tires at the last pit stop and managed to jump a lot of the guys here in the middle of the pack and got it myself up here.
And a great strategy move that was indeed. Looks like right now everyone's going to be bunching up in about a lap's time at the very longest. Still single file here on track. So when it comes back to it, do you think we'll see any more cautions, or will this be the run to the end?
I got to feel like we're going to have a couple more. People are going to get pretty squirrely here in these last 5 or so laps.
And predictions coming in just a bit early. Still single file here, but any final thoughts before we leave this one off?
No, I think we're in a good spot, and I'm excited to see what the sequential sim sport Camaro can do.
And looking forward to that as well. Right now, running up front, Daniel Foss, thank you for your time. Dragging back into his voice as we try to make sure he was put back into the right one. Although I'm not really sure if we are able to put him into that one, so we are going to put him back in the on-air one and make sure that he knows what's going on. And hopefully, he'll be able to get back in as a result. 1 lap to green. And just to ensure he's going to be able to get him back into the right one, we would try to move him through. Although it looks like not going to be able to do just that at the moment. 83 machine still up front here. But it is Thomas Bressi. Anyway, not going green. And it has been extended. Not sure why that is the case. However, we will see. And still, Thomas Bressi leads over the remainder of the pack right now. 8 laps remaining. And we still have just a bit of time here before the show gets on the road. And Daniel Foss on his way alongside the remainder of these drivers, and looks like the driver in that 83 has not been dragged into his voice chat, so we will see what's going on there, keeping a monitor on that situation. Rob Ackley still up front, and how about Michael Stroll in the driver? That 38 machine has been on the move, although now we go back to the 1 to go period. 1 to green, as a matter of fact. And from there on out, it is game time. You got to get serious from here, or it will be a problem. And Michael Stroll, knowing it, he's been able to slowly but surely claw his way up to the front of the field. And knowing that Stroll has some potential, we'll see whether or not he's able to extract it here. It's now or never. That's 1 lap car going to go by, try to get a lap back. Still, people getting laps. With 8 to go, this will be the most intense period of this race. Thomas Bressi, tell you what, he has had an intense hold on this race. We'll try to watch him from the onboard camera going into this restart. And let's get a quick look at that right now. Fading it in, the VR camera. This is exactly what Thomas Bressi is seeing inside his VR headset, and it's almost like this is the only thing he sees in the real world. It's as if he's inside that NASCAR Xfinity Chevy Camaro with the Exalta sponsorship, and nothing separating it from reality to fiction. It's not necessarily even fiction, to be honest. It's simulation racing, a different categorization in itself. And we will roll and watch the driver of the 24 put it through the gears, this time by the first driver to experiment with this onboard technology. And it's a great view for any motorsport fan to see how it is inside the cockpit of a machine in iRacing. That is real, no filters, no editing, no nothing. As a matter of fact, for him, it's even more immersive than that. Let's see how it's going to play out for him this time through 8 laps to do it. And he will have to think quick right now. Thomas Bressi will. The pace car going to dive off, this time by the leader off of a caution. He has not been all season long. And here we go once again. The green flag is out, and it's going to be a commanding start for a race leader. And putting it nicely through the gears. And the 24 gets the edge. The remainder of the field just going to have to come back later on, and that they already are. Michael Stroll in the back bumper of Anthony DeBarro. The top 4 drivers able to pull away for now. They have a great advantage over the remainder of the field. The bottom half of the top 10. Back up. And so far, a great run. Everyone able to hold on. Top 10, 12 guys still in the mix. As we send it back to the TV camera only. And Thomas Bressi, the driver we were focusing on, is currently your race leader. And we're going to back it down from having his driver identification on your screen. 7 laps to go here in Daytona. And it has been a great run for the man of 24. Rob Ackley there as well. 27 machine of Anthony DeBarro, Michael Stroll, Trevor Trago, Daniel Foss, Kevin Motz, and Matthew Thunhorst. 6 remaining. It's do or die now in the Sunshine State. Bressi has a great advantage over the remainder of the field. That is for certain. Double file, 6 laps to go. Nobody pushing just yet. Anyone could get more exciting. Anyone could get more intense. But nobody is buying into the jitters. That's for certain. It has been a calm race for the good majority of it. And we have seen, besides the cautions, that everyone's been able to hold on nicely. Now it's 6 laps remaining. That is still the case. And the 24 machine, leading from Ackley, DeBarro, Michael Stroll, Trago, Daniel Foss. And these guys up front, the top 5 have the best chance with 5 laps to go here at Daytona. And Bressi knows this. He's been able to hold on to a good majority of this race. Active, the 22 machine. He was pole sitter. He's been up front for the good majority of it as well. And anyone here has a chance. So for the viewers in the chat, be sure to subscribe to the channel for at least a minute if you want to lay in your predictions and punch them into the system before we get the race underway. And let's see who's right and who is wrong. Trust me, anyone here has a chance as the 22 and 27 go side by side as Rob Ackley gets shuffled out of the pack. Unbelievable. He's still got a chance though. Well, he's out of the pack for now. He won't be out of the pack for long. 24 machine there. Trevor Drago right behind him. Inside line, he's got it. Anthony DeBarro there as well. And 5 laps becomes 4 laps remaining. And Daniel Foss still up front in the top 5 here. The top 5 is the 27, 24, 38, 37, and 83. And it is all a mix of American machinery except for that one Toyota Supra. And the Camaros have been on the hunt. The aerodynamic bodies of those Camaros seem to have the edge over the remainder of the field with 4 remaining here. And only a few miles to go, less than 10. And now going to be around 7.5 coming to the next one. 3 laps remaining. Bresci, DeBarro, they are double file. The Toyota Supra on the high side still battling the Chevy Camaro on the inside as they come down to the line once again. 4 laps, now 3 laps to go. You got to get real intense here if you want to win this one. It is now or never to make a move. Michael Stroll on the back bumper there. DeBarro trying to get him clear of Bresci. And he's not able to do it just yet. And down through the first and second turn. Daytona International Speedway, one of the fastest tracks in NASCAR. Speeds of about over 190 miles an hour. They go down the back straightaway. Some of these guys should be able to reach about 195 all the way down. But up front, these guys are at the mercy of those who push. And the pushers know it. If you're a great pusher, you'll get a man to lead and perhaps you'll get yourself to lead. Building trust, building relationships, and establishing who's the best man up front. That's what these races, these clashes are all about. Bresci, is he going to save it? I can't believe it. It looks like he will, and that car was all over. I can't believe it, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get an onboard replay of that one, but that was a lot of wheel work. And let's get an instant replay nonetheless. 2 laps to go. Let's get a quick one and get back on our way. See if we even have time to get it back. But I can't believe what we just saw. That was a big save there from Thomas Bresci. And he was able to hold on to it quite nicely. And he got that thing all squirreled out. Goes up to the high side. Going to lose a lot of time. And either way, still in the hunt here. And we go on to what will be 1 lap to go. Back to the live feed already. What a move there. He's able to save it. He's still in the back of the pack. Still has a chance. But now it's Gale Brooks leading with 2 laps to go, becoming 1 lap to go here at Daytona. The clash down to its final lap. 2.5 miles. 1 winner. Let's see who's able to settle it. As they roar on to the final segment of the track here. It's do or die. Brooks on the outside. Trevor Drago on the inside. And a big push there by Kevin Matz. Matt's able to push him down on the inside. Trevor Drago has the edge. Gale Brooks has the momentum, though. The middle lane now coming alive. And the Matt Kenseth throwback. The 71 inverted number there. Running good. And it's going to be contact up front. Everyone's going to be taken out. Everyone indeed. 1 driver to get through. It's Daniel Foss. He wrecks. Daniel Foss from the lead goes around. And Michael Stroll wins the integrity clash at Daytona. And I think Foss almost had it won. Michael Stroll gets it done at Daytona in a phenomenal last lap turn of events. What a run. Blake Gordon second, and Thomas Bresci recovers the third. And let's look that one over. What a finish that was. And we'll try to watch it with a wide-angle shot in effect. Because everyone wrecked there. And I don't think even Michael Stroll got out of it clean. And we will see at about half speed what just happened. And we're going to back it up just a bit and look at what was the catalyst for that one. And it actually looks like it was Matt's Stroll. No, it was Gale Brooks there. Coming in on Trevor Drago. Trevor comes up the track. and gets into just about everyone, and they all get contact. Michael Stroll gets very lucky there, and he looks to be one of the few drivers to get right through it. Thomas Bresci going to be able to full power through, and he's going to get a lot of spots, and Daniel Foss just goes away for the screen there, loses it. And I would love to know what caused that, because it looks like he just might have been out of control after getting through that. And no, he was on the apron, and when you're down on that apron trying to save it a third time, just about impossible. And that's how Michael Stroll wins this one. I can't believe it. What a finish. And Daytona always produces incredible results like that. And let's see whether or not he is already burning it down. It looks like he should be on the track. And there he is. Michael Stroll, what a finish. And he's got the right to celebrate that one. As he's going to come down onto pit road here. Looks like he's already going to be ready to park it up. What a run for Michael Stroll. And that 38 machine getting away from everyone on the pack and eventually coming home as the race winner. Michael Stroll, what a finish, and eventually what a win there. Nobody able to get to you on that final run.
Sorry, Dave, cut out there for a couple words. What's up?
How about that finish, that final few hundred foot run, as a matter of fact, getting you down to the victory, and it looked like it was all but certain that Daniel Foss would have it done. Then he spins it out. How was it, and how does it feel to win the first event, even though it's not for points on the season?
It feels pretty good. I only had one lap. My car was a little beat up from that first wreck on lap 5. So I just, always just try to put myself in position to win. I was really trying to push DeBarro there, but my car didn't have a lot of suck. And it would get hot too quick, so I couldn't do that. And then it got crazy coming to 2 to go or whatever when Bresci got almost hooked, and it was just calamity. You know how it goes with these players at the end. And I figured we were gonna wreck. We were all 3x3 there, and once I got into it, I just tried to keep the car straight. And then it just so happened I was the only one left. So I'll take him how I can get him.
And nonetheless, able to take that one. What a finish that was, and a real surprising one. And being in the middle of the pack, how intense was it to be able to move through the remainder of the field, because it looked like you were just in the middle of it and somehow able to come away with minimal damage?
We took the white flag, and I said, I'm just bringing the steering wheel back, whatever happens. And once they all start, crashing up there, you just try to keep the car as straight as possible to get the best finish. And I know we had a little more wrecks than I would have liked to seen. I wish we'd had gotten some green flag stops, but we were 3x3 for a long time, and everyone was pretty good. And we got the real deal for 100 laps here in a couple weeks. Looking forward to that. I'm sure there'll be a little bit more patience there in that race, with it not being so short. But hope you guys enjoyed your first telecast of Integrity. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks and hopefully put on a better show.
Absolutely getting excited for this one. It will be a great show. And how about a Daytona with these Xfinity cars? From the driver's perspective, you only led one lap tonight, but it's the one that matters. So how was it running through the pack? And eventually we saw you up front toward the tail end.
If you go on the Sim Hub and look at my stats at this track, I've led a lot of laps, and I've come close to winning at Daytona for about 2 or 3 years now. I've been spun from the lead. I've lost by a nose. So, of course, the way I would win this one is with a beat-up Chevy and only leading one lap, and the one that matters. So it's finally good to get one here at Daytona. Looking forward to next week. I like pretty much what I saw from the guys we have. I'm going to get a drink of water, and maybe have a beer too after that.
Well, how about it? The celebration going to begin in an incredible finish there. So we are going to get the season started at Daytona. So the Clash, done and done. You're the winner. How do you feel going into the regular season?
I feel pretty good. I'm usually pretty consistent. Maybe I'll get a win here or two. I don't expect this result in 2 weeks, because anything can happen at Daytona, and it usually does. We usually get a surprise winner, but it'll be a long season from now till the Memorial Day weekend, where we finish off the A season in Charlotte. So, just happy for the turnout and pleased with the racing. Hope you enjoyed yourself. And that's all I really got to say. I'm going to go enjoy this victory with my friends.
And a great victory from Michael Stroll in the 38 machine. Thank you for your time. First win of the season, winning the Clash here at Daytona. And we're going to drag him back into his voice chat there. How about we get the next man up? That's going to be Blake Gordon getting it done in the second position. Going to try to get an interview with him there. And it looks like he should be in a voice chat, although we do not see him in one at the moment. Nonetheless, we're going to try to pull him in and find out what's going on with the driver of the 48 and see if he's available for a comment. If not, we'll just move on to the next man, which will be Thomas Bresci. What a race he ran. We'll get interviews set up for the driver of Wells, but the 48 in Blake Gordon. Slowly but surely waiting to get the interview done. Try to see if he's going to be able to hop in. Now, we'll get on to your third place driver. What a finish. We're watching it back in slow motion. Michael Stroll almost getting clipped there by Kevin Matz. And actually, his damage might have saved him on the front end. It was already a little bit crumpled up. And the fact it was, he's going to get more damage. That could have taken him on for a wild ride. As Blake Gordon, look at that. He finished second in a car that was about 45 degrees sideways. And the 48 machine comes home with position 2 and almost slides right up into Stroll. That save, able to make it happen for Gordon. And Daniel Foss not able to do the same. You can see he's already down to the apron here as we are watching the slow motion version of this finish. And what a finish it was. Although it looks like now we'll be moving on to comments from your third position driver, and that is the driver of Thomas Bresci. What a finish. You can see he is caught up in that one. And third position on the night for the driver of the 24 machine, and it looks like it was all but over, coming to 2 laps to go there. Able to come back, recover for third. So how do you feel after an intense night of action?
You know, I guess not too bad, things considered. That was a wild finish for sure. I had fun, at least. I mean, I knew when I made that first block, I knew it was he was probably going to jump to the top, and I knew he was probably going to throw the dummy and try to go back to the bottom. So I felt fine with the first block, and the second one, I knew I was pushing my luck, but it's coming to 2 to go. I had to try, so just was able to hang on to the tail of the draft, and then Daytona happened in the last corner. So we picked our way through it, and somehow still on third, which isn't all that bad. So. It's a fun night for sure, though.
And an intense night as well, having to make your way up through that final wreck. So how was it from your perspective, having to move through a sea of drivers who all seem to be blocked up there? How about that?
Kind of just crossed my fingers and hoped for the best. I was like, we're coming to the checkered, so full send or no send, I guess. I tried to get to the bottom a little bit, and I checked up a little bit thinking I could sort of get it to the apron, and it sort of did, but it mostly didn't. So I was like, I guess we're just gonna see if we can bulldoze through it a little bit, which we kind of did. And it sort of worked out, and just punched a hole through it. But yeah, it was I was keeping my fingers crossed. I mean, even when after I got back going again, and I think I was like 12th or 13th or something like that, I was like, well, you know what? I still had fun running up front at least, and had a decent night, and I was gonna be content with that, and probably making the greatest save of my life, and then and just the seas parted a little bit there at the end, and got back up onto the podium, which isn't too bad.
Certainly isn't too bad, as we will enter the next season here in just a few weeks' time, and we are getting hyped up for that at Daytona. It's going to be a much longer event, about double the length and then some. So going on to that, it's going to be a 100-lap event to open up the season. How do you feel going in with this same car track combo and this group of guys?
I like it. I mean, I think usually the first race of the year anyways, especially for any league, when you got new guys coming in and everything, it tends, the first go at it's a little there's some issues and kinks to work out, and that's fine. That's every league, and I think most people recognize that. And all in all, I didn't think it was really that bad tonight. It's not like there was, it's not like it was like, oh my god, this is gonna be rough. But so I think people will probably work on a couple of things that they know they probably gotta, each person's got to work on, and I got to work on a couple things, and how it is. But I think next week will be good. I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to these plate races a little more than I used to. I think in like the last year or so, maybe I've kind of gotten better at them. So it's not just a crapshoot. I feel a little more confident in myself and what I'm doing, and how, kind of controlling my own destiny to a point. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I get a chance to actually work with my teammates, because I literally worked with none of them tonight. But I was, at least I was happy to keep the car up front, and out of trouble for the most part, and hopefully we can do the same next week and do 2 spots better.
And looking forward to that. That is for certain. Any final thoughts before we leave this one off tonight?
No, just congrats to Stroll on the win. He made some really good moves. That's kind of what, when we talked in the middle of the race, when I said signature moves that a few of these guys make, that Stroll's always been the guy that, like, if you give him the exact width of his car up the middle, he will make it work, and he picks up, like, he'll pass like 4 rows of cars, and he did that towards the end there, got himself in a good spot, and did a good job capitalizing on the festivities, I guess, if you want to call it, at the end there. So congrats to him on the win. Just hats off to everybody for a great race tonight. It was a lot of fun. Thanks to you, of course, for doing the broadcast. Hope everyone that was watching enjoyed it. And thanks to all the sponsors, all the partners that we have here in Integrity, the admin team, for all the hard work they've done. There's been a lot of work that has gotten done that I'm sure you're aware of, because obviously you've been a part of it throughout the off season, getting ready for this. And it's really exciting to kind of see everything come together and start, at the start of something really great here. So yeah, that's I think that's probably about it though. And of course, shout out to the JT Motorsports guys as well for I know, they had some issues with some of the wrecks tonight, but overall just kind of sticking with it and fighting through to the end.
And absolutely, and it all comes down to it, picking up a 3rd position result in anticipation of the first season for this year. Thomas Bressi, thank you for your time.
Of course. See you, man.
There we have it. That's the 24 machine, and that will be the final driver we will get for the podium rundown here at Daytona. And what a race it was. What a win for the man in that 38 machine and Michael Stroll. He was able to get it done in style, and nobody else able to contend with him as the race came down to that final stretch on the front stretch. And he was the sole victor here tonight of the Clash. He gets it done in an incredible style. That wreck and that run through to the tail end, unlike anything we've seen beforehand. How about that? Now, let's get your race results on your screen and finish this one off in style. The Clash, it's concluded, but we will remember it, and this one, it's going to be a lasting memory. Michael Stroll wins from 11th on the grid, with Blake Gordon second on the finishing positions from 29th on the charts. I believe he will be a hard charger as a result of that run. What a great one it was. He's up 28 spots, I believe, there, as Thomas Bressi from 3rd on the chart to 3rd on the finishing charts, start to finish, able to keep it consistent. Matthew Thornhurst in 1st, Anthony DeBarro in 5th, Gale Brooks in 6th, DJ Stagner from 7th to 7th, and Joe Dinsmore from 27th to 8th, Cody Griffin from 32nd to 9th, and Adam Wood from 10th to 16th. Then, following this group of drivers, the 10th to 20th portion is going to be led off with Don Stevenson in 11th, Rob Ackley, your pole sitter, in 12th, Daniel Foss 13th, Josh Last in 14th, Trevor Trago 15th, Casey Shue in 16th, and then Calvin Filarski, Kevin Matz, then Kyle Cooper, Ryan McFerrin in the 20th spot, and from there on out, the results go as follows. Justin Carey, the final driver in the lead lap, then Hayden Prestorius, Brandon Bernhardt, Carl Henderson, William Logan, Alan Rowell, Forrest Smith, Nick Terabuch, Jacob Feith, Ethan Lane, Brandon Wenjard, Alan Dobbs, Cody Smith, Timothy Johnston, Zach Edwards, and finally, Tyler Hensley. No driver getting past, or at least getting through, at least, of course, 9 laps. And apologies, all drivers getting through at least those first 9. And then from there on out, everyone was able to hire or go all the way. In the case of one man, Michael Stroll, he was the one got that victory, and nobody on his level tonight. How about it for the 38 machine? A big congratulations to Michael Stroll winning the Clash in the Integrity Ignite Series, and we hope to have him back when we get this show on the road next week at Daytona. 100 laps of action, and we are especially excited to commence the show there. Monday night's going to be getting a lot better, and we hope to have you with us. If you enjoyed the action, be sure to like and subscribe. It's always greatly appreciated, and we hope to have you whenever we are live on FTN. This has been the Integrity Ignite Series Clash at Daytona. This has been live on FTN. We hope you all have a great night. We hope to see you again whenever we are live.